Good morning, dear students. Welcome to the geography class, and let's start the 8th chapter. And in this chapter you will going to study about the geographical features of India. But before we start this chapter, let me tell you about the portion which you have to study in the 3rd semester. In 3rd semester you have to study 3 chapters, and these all 3 chapters it's totally focused on India. In chapter 8 you will study about the geographical features, in which you will going to study about the location and extent, boundaries and the neighboring countries that surrounds India, the states and the capitals of India, physical divisions of India, in which you will study about the Himalayas, then the northwest range in the Himalayas, the North Himalayan range, which is also called the Northern Arc, and the Northeast Himalayan range, which is called the Purvanchal. So the three parts, divisions of Himalayas. Then the next thing you will study about the great plains of Indo-Gangetic Brahmaputra plain, that is India Ganga, right? So river Indus and river Ganga plain is usually known as Indo-Gangetic, and in Assam the Brahmaputra plain, the plain which is formed by the river Brahmaputra by depositing the silt, known as the Brahmaputra plain or Assam plain. So you will study about this great plain. We also call it the great plain of North India. Then you will study about the peninsular plateau. The peninsular plateau, the South India, most part of this peninsular plateau, the South India is plateau, and because it is surrounded by 3 sides of the water, it is known as the peninsular plateau. Okay, the different types of plateaus, so important plateaus you will study. Then you will study about the Western Ghat, Eastern Ghat, and the coastal plains, and then you will study the coastal the drainage system of India, the most important drainage system. So these are the things we will study in this chapter 8, geographical feature. In chapter 9 you will study about the climate, flora and fauna, in which you will study about the climate of India, the factors affecting the climate of India. Then you will study about the forest resource in India, the types of natural vegetation, and about the conservation of forest in India, which is very important, because forest is very important and large number of forests already have been cut. So the conservation of forest, now it's a very important thing. So you will study about it, and then you will also see about the wildlife of India and some endangered species. The last chapter you will study about the human resources. Human resources, the man itself is a great resource, and in this chapter which deals about the human resource, that is about the population, and you will study about the importance of the human resource. You will study about the composition of population change, what is population change, the factors which influence the population distribution. Then you will study about the distribution and the density of population in the world. So a small description will be given here, and you will see about the difference between the rural and the urban population, and then the development of human resources, that how this human resource can be developed and how it can be used properly. So these are the things you will study in this portion in the 3rd semester. So you need to just totally focus on these 3 chapters, which is totally focused on India, geography of India. So geography of India is one part, one paper in the higher class, especially in the post graduation. There is one separate paper, separate subject you can say, that is called geography of India. So this here you will study about these 3 chapters, that is geography of India. It will also help you for the class 10th, because in class 10th you will study the somewhat descriptive portion of geography of India, so that only the geography of India will study in class 10th. So it will also help you there. So all of you be very serious, and let's start this chapter. with the chapter 8, that is the chapter 8 is the geographical features. So let's see, but first important thing is the location and extent. What do you mean by this location and extent? Location means if you find India usually located in the tropical region. So if you find the north part of India, northern India, it lies in subtropical region, while the region that is below the Tropic of Cancer, right, we can also call it South India, it totally lies in tropical region. And this is why our country experience tropical type of climate. In fact, if you find the North India, it experience both temperate and tropical type of climate. Now how? What is the meaning of temperate climate? Now the winter season, if you see, we experience very extreme winter, very extreme cold conditions. Now this extreme cold condition, this type of winter, this is a characteristic of temperate climate. So in winter season, we experience the temperate type of climate, but in the summer you can see it's very hot, and that is a tropical climate. So this North India, which lies in subtropical region, experience both type of climate, subtropical and temperate type of climate. Well, and this is why we also use one term for this type of climate, for this part of region, that is the North India. We also call it transition region or transition period or transition type of climate. Now what is the meaning of transition? Transition means the region which experience both type of climate, means temperate also and tropical also. So already we have seen here. Now this is about the location. Now if you find some of the countries which are located on equator, now they will experience equatorial type of climate, while the countries which are located in the temperate region, they experience totally the pure temperate type of climate. So location is a very important thing. Now next is the extent. Now what is the meaning of extent? Extent means the country which is located or between the latitudes and longitudes. So if you find, we call it latitudinal and longitudinal extent. So India lies between 8 degree north to 37 degree north latitude. So if you find the location of India, it lies between 8 degree north up to 37 degree north latitude, and this is known as the latitudinal extent. Now next is the longitudinal extent, and it lies between 68 degree east to 97 degree east longitude. So if you find this country, our country lies between 68 degree east to 97 degree east longitude. Now this is known as the longitudinal extent. So this is the latitudinal and longitudinal extent. Now if you find the Tropic of Cancer, which is very important latitude, it goes mid part of India, dividing India into two halves, that is North India and South India. And this is what I explained you. We experience two type of climate. The North India experience subtropical type of climate, while South India experience the pure tropical type of climate. And this is why in South India, if you go, you will see they don't experience winter season. Well, now next let's move to the boundaries and the neighboring countries of India. Now if you find, India actually is surrounded by many countries, in which Pakistan is our very important neighbor. Then on the north we are being bounded by China, Nepal, then there is a Bhutan, to the east there is a Bangladesh, and then to the south you will find there is a island country Sri Lanka and Maldives. So we just form a common boundary with these countries, right? And these countries usually are called the neighboring countries. But one thing if you will find, the countries together with our neighboring countries like Pakistan, Nepal and Bhutan, Bangladesh, this whole India is also known as Indian subcontinent. Now why this part of the world is only termed as Indian subcontinent? Now this thing is not given in your book, but it is very important. That's why I am just giving you a brief description about the Indian subcontinent. Now if you will find that India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, they are all separated by the Himalayas from the rest part of Asia. And because of this you will find in this part of the world we are having a very different type of climatic condition. Even if you find the race, means the people, we people actually are known as Indian people, and Indians actually are the pure mixed breed of the three important races, Caucasus and Mongoloids and the Negroids. So we Indians actually are the pure mixed breed, and we just forms one important race, and we call it, this is called Indian race or Indian people. So we are totally different from Europeans, from Mongolians, means Chinese people, or from the Africans, that is Negroes, right? Now here, another thing, if you find the culture in our country and even in Pakistan, Nepal and Bhutan and these Bangladesh, and even Sri Lanka, so we are having a common culture, but it doesn't have anything common with the culture from Chinese, or from the Middle East, or from the other countries. Now if you find language is totally different, the way of living is totally different. Now why it is? Because Himalayas actually is a very great, or you can say a very extent range which separates India and this part of the world from the rest part of Asia, and this is why this part of the world is also termed as the Indian subcontinent. Now let's move to the political division of India, and we're going to see about the states and capital. In this, now our country, now one thing very important, there is very important, let me just focus on that thing, because all of you know about the states and the union territories, right? And so let's see about the NCR. The important thing is what is NCR? NCR means the National Capital Region. Now this is a very important thing. Now in fact, one geographer has given one theory which is known as the theory of National Capital Region. Now what is this theory? Now, let me just give you a brief explanation. What is NCR? Now usually all of you know Delhi is a national capital. So usually the development, first of all, it occurs where? In our national capital, that is in New Delhi. Now what happens? This development, it just from increase from there, it spreads outward. Now you will find New Delhi is surrounded by UP, then there is Haryana, Himachal Pradesh and Punjab. Now these are the states which surrounds Delhi. So what happens here? The development, it spreads outward. Now already the whole Delhi is all covered. As a national capital, they needs more land area, and so this development now has extended in UP and even in Punjab and in Haryana and in Himachal Pradesh. So you will find there are so many important cities surrounding New Delhi. Some of the very important cities you must be knowing about. They are called the Noida, Greater Noida, Ghaziabad, that is, these are all in UP. Then Saharanpur, it is also there in UP. Then there is Chandigarh, right, in that Haryana, Punjab. And then there is Faridabad and Gurugram, which was also known as Gurgaon previously, but now the name is changed. So these are the very developed cities which develops around the New Delhi. And in fact, in the previous videos chapter, you have studied that these cities are also known as satellite cities. So here, this is how these satellite cities, so many satellite cities, they just developed around the New Delhi. So now the development has even spread in the some parts of UP and Himachal Pradesh, even in Punjab and Haryana. So this is how this whole developed region, which is actually bigger than the New Delhi, this is called National Capital Region. Now, why it is called National Capital Region? You will find now there are so many people. They are living in Gurugram and Delhi. What they do? They just drive to New Delhi for their work because their offices, their everything, every work, business is there in New Delhi, but their house is in Gurugram. Maybe some of them are living in Noida, Greater Noida. Now every day what they do? They do this up and down. So the development even has reached to these cities. Well, so this is the meaning of the NCR, National Capital Region. Okay, now let's move to the, my suggestion is when you are watching this video or if you open your books, so when you watch any of the video, you should open the books also and the chapter, and you should look in the book also, and as the teachers they explain the chapter, so now it will become easier for you. So on the blackboard we have a very limited resource, only this green board is there, whatever thing we can write here, and that only we can show you as a tool, teaching tool. So we are going to use the books also as a teaching tool. So all of you open your books, right, and then it will become easier for you because the maps are given in your book. So I will directly show you in the book all the things, right. So let's see here the next page in which you can find the table 8.1. In this table you can find there are the names of the states, their capitals, the major cities, population density, and number of districts are given here. And below this states, another table is there, combine it with it, that is union territories, the name of the important union territories and their capital, right, and their major cities, population density and important districts are given here. So all of you can go through it, and on the next page there is the political map of India is given, and you can go through it. You just find it, all the important capital. This is your homework, just note down there. Your homework is you have to write these names of all the states and union territories, and then you have to write the capitals and the major cities, right. You have to go through all the major cities. Now don't just write it, just open the map and find everything here in this map, and then you will able to remember this in your mind. So it's very, very important, right. So unless you don't go through the map, you will never understand it. So let's move further and let's see here. So the next page if you will find there is another map is given. This map is about the physical divisions of India. Here you can find the rivers are given and the different colors, and if you find these different colors, you will find brown color, it shows you about the Himalayas. Then the light green color, right, it is a yellowish green, right, it shows about in fact it is a mustard yellow, not pure mustard yellow, but there is a slight green tinge is there, and this shows a plain region, the great northern plain, in which Indo-Gangetic and Brahmaputra plain you can see. Then the mustard yellow color, that shows it is slightly orangish actually, right. Now that shows the desert, the Thar Desert in India, the desert region. Then the yellow color, it shows about the peninsular region. Then the dark brown, chocolate brown color, it shows you about the eastern and the western Ghat region. And the apple green shows you the coastal plain region in our country. So you can find in this map that whole region is divided into 6 important regions. What are they? First is the Himalaya, that is the mountainous region. Second is the Great Plain of Indo-Gangetic and Brahmaputra. Then the desert region in Rajasthan, and next is the peninsular region, peninsular plateau region, and next the chocolate brown color eastern and the western Ghat region, and the last one, the apple green color, shows you about the coastal plain region. So let's move here and start this physiographic division of India. So let's start here. So I hope actually I will able to, well, I think I will not able to finish this point in this portion. So today we are going to see only about the Himalayas, right? Physiographic division. All of you open your book, okay? Don't just look the video, right? Open your book. Now look in your book also. So if you find here, already I have explained you about the Indian subcontinent that is given there, right? Why the India and the neighboring countries together, why it is called as the Indian subcontinent, right? There is a definition is given here. The well-defined geographical unit, right? It is a peninsula completely isolated from the mainland of Asia by a wall of young-fold mountains, the Himalayas, and this is known as the Indian subcontinent. So if the question will be asked, what do you mean by the Indian subcontinent? So this is the answer. What is the answer? Answer, you will write, Indian subcontinent forms a well-defined geographical unit and is a peninsula completely isolated from mainland of Asia by a wall of young fold mountains, the Himalayas. So this is the answer. You can underline it in your book by the pencil. So now let's start here. Already we have discussed that the physiographic division of India means the India is divided into the Himalayas, northern plain, peninsular plateau, coastal region, and islands. So we are going to study these 5 important divisions of India, and today we will only see about the Himalayas. So if you find the Himalayas again is divided into, let's see here, Himalayas are also known as the Great Himalayas. Why it is called Great Himalayas? In fact, if you find Himalayas consist the 10 highest mountain peaks of the world, they are found or they are located where? In the Himalayas. So this whole Himalayan region, it forms the not only highest but the biggest mountain range of the world. If you compare it with the Rockies of North America even, or Andes of South America, in comparison to even these Andes and Rockies and the other mountain systems and the ranges in the world, Himalaya is the highest mountain range of the world. Well, so now first of all, this Himalayas, it is divided into, because it is very very big, so it is divided into 3 divisions, means 3 parts. What are they? The first is number 1 is northwest range. Now this northwest range, now usually it lies in, the most part of the northwest range lies in Pakistan and Afghanistan. So the part There are so many important range are there, like Suleiman range, Hindu Kush range. The Suleiman range lies in Pakistan. It is a very important range. Then Hindu Kush range, it just radiated in Afghanistan. It is also one of the very important range, right? And you can see that they are the part of the Pakistan and Afghanistan. Some other ranges are the Kunlun range, Karakoram range, Ladakh and Jaskar range. So these are lies in India, and some of them have radiated even in China. Well, the second is the second division is called the northern Himalayan range. The northern Himalayan range. Now this northern Himalayan range again is divided into three parallel ranges. Now what are they? They are the Himadri. This Himadri is also known as the Great Himalayas. Second is the Himachal. It is also known as the Middle Himalaya. And the third is the Shivalik. It is also known as Lesser Himalayas. So you can see here the northern Himalayas range, which is also known as the Northern Arc. Why it is called Northern Arc? Because if you find, it just forms one arc shape from Jammu and Kashmir. It just comes down to Himachal Pradesh, then it enters in Nepal, from there it enters in Bhutan up to Arunachal Pradesh in India. So it just forms one arc, and that's why this northern Himalayan range is also known as the Northern Arc. Now this Northern Arc, it has three parallel range. The highest range is Himadri, which is the Greater Himalaya. All the highest peak of the world, the 10 most highest peak of the world lies in this range, Himadri, and they are all covered by the snow cap throughout the year. Next is the Himachal. This is the Middle Himalaya. Now this is shorter than the Himadri. And then the third one is Shivalik. These are the hills actually, which are covered with the dense forest, right? So let's see here, and let's move to the third one, the Northeast Himalayas. Now the third one is the Northeast Himalayas. Now this Northeast Himalayas is also known as the Purvanchal Himalaya, because it lies in the northeastern states, like in Arunachal Pradesh, from there Nagaland and downwards Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura. So in these states actually, these all hilly area lies. So it is also known as the Purvanchal Himalayas. Okay, so these are the three main divisions of Himalaya we have seen. First one is the Northwest Range. Second is the Northern Himalayan Range, which is also known as the Northern Arc. Now it consists of three parallel range. What are they? Himadri, Great Himalayas, Himachal, Middle Himalaya, and Shivalik, the Lesser Himalaya. And the third division is the northeast Himalayas, which is also known as the Purvanchal Himalaya. So these are the three important divisions of Himalayas. So all of you have seen there in your book, right? So next session we will start from the northern plain and we will finish this, I hope, right, in the next session. So all the best all of you, read the chapter and all of you do the homework. The homework which I have given you. What is the homework? Note down again. Table 8.1. Now there is given India, states and their capitals. So you have to write all the names of states and their capital and some major cities. So not only the states but also the union territories. So this you have to do in your fair copy. Okay, and you have to find out these things, you have to find out in the map given in the next page. Okay, so you can understand where these places are found in India. So this is your homework. So all the best.